I haven't seen you in a week.
It's been a week for sure.
A real human person time week.
Right, that's correct. It's been one whole week of people time. I keep looking at the timer over here. Yeah. As though that's going to say just 1 week because I left the microphones recording for an entire week.
I'm back and I'm just starving in here. I'm like, dude, I've been waiting.
I'm in the Guadalajara dungeon.
Yeah.
Reference to last week's episode that also just happened a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and a reference to where we record.
That's right.
The undisclosed location.
In Guadalajara.
Latitude and longitude blank.
Right. This is episode...
6. Wow.
That's like a month and a half now.
Yeah.
Worth of episodes. We're cruising.
Wow.
Trying out this new 45-minute format. Again, this is episode 6 of the Dadvice podcast. If you did somehow just stumbled this far and are just now hearing it, but not seeing anything, this is the Dadvice podcast. We're here to talk about things from the perspectives of dads.
The modern... very cool dads.
I just want to clarify, too. This is not just for dads. The Dadvice is called the Dadvice because we are dads. We're just making content for everybody, but we have a lot more insight on the perspective of dads.
Yeah, like this is a title that we can't legally drop. Something we do every day.
I mean, Casey Anthony found a loophole.
She did.
On the mom thing.
God, dude, I remember in like 2009, I thought I was edgy. I made my name Casey Anthony when we were bowling, and I was just like...
And then people came and were like, you need to leave.
Yeah, they're like, what's wrong with you, white boy?
Oh, so today we're talking about...
health.
But not mental. We already did one of those. We're talking about physical health.
Everybody needs a perspective of health from a very much not expert.
Right. Let's start this with the disclaimer that we're not giving health advice. Please don't listen to anything. We're just more of talking about the difficulties or experiences of maintaining health as an adult, as a parent.
Yeah.
You know,
I may look decently healthy from the outside.
I mean,
but
you are stunning, to be fair.
Thank you. I've been taking creatine just because.
You don't lift though, right? So it's just water retention.
I just literally look like Bubble Boy or whatever. Yeah, I lift at work, but I still take creatine even when I'm not working. I'm like, I mowed the lawn today with my little light electric lawnmower, so I was like, time to crush some creatine, man. I'm get these gains.
Slamming it.
Yeah, I'm like, I may look healthy from the outside, but my insides are like putrefied black liquid is what my organs are at this point in my life.
Hot dad take. Electric mowers are the shit.
Oh, yeah.
I love them. But no, yeah, we're talking about physical health. Especially because I feel like it's something important to talk about because, like, there are standards that define health, but everybody goes through them. And
we're forced to.
I know
these prison bodies.
Right.
It's something you can't ignore.
These flesh prisons.
If you try to ignore it, your body won't.
Right. I know that if anybody's watching the videos on YouTube, they see me and I look like...
You look stunning.
I look wider than I am, though, because I feel like the camera adds like some weird funhouse mirror effect to me. I'm a bigger guy. I don't want anyone to think I'm like, yeah, the camera adds 200 pounds. Like, no, I'm...
What is up with these iPhone cameras?
Yeah, these are crazy.
Weird.
No, I'm 6'6", but I'm 310 technically. But a few weeks ago I was 327, so that's cool. So
nice.
I lost a few pounds. Yeah. My doctor actually noted that when I went to see him recently.
Don't you love those little pats on the back from your doctor? You're like, this guy studied this, and he's proud of me.
I'm looking for a new primary care. I'm not going to say my doctor's name. Sorry, I have like mustache hair. It's just falling into my mouth.
You're not going to break hip on yourself?
Yeah, well, right. But I'm not going to say my doctor's name because I don't have a long-term beef with him. But it's one of the reasons I thought about doing this episode is because people need to understand that the healthcare system here, especially in the United States, is super flawed. It's a broken system. We are one of the only, if not the only, developed country without some semblance of universal healthcare. Healthcare is not viewed as a right in this country. The current administration has made that abundantly clear. But one thing that people need to understand is because of that, you have to, when you do involve yourself in the system, like you just have to be true to yourself on that. And my primary care was not taking care of me. I asked him for things and not just on a health level, but like I went in to this doctor's appointment and I told this guy, I said, hey, my wife is transitioning between jobs. Money is tight right now. I can't do anything extra. So any tests or whatever that fall outside of what I would normally do for a wellness check, which is what I'm here for, it has to, and I gave him a price board. Like, I was like, this is what I've got for this appointment. And he didn't listen to me.
He's like, give me that arm. I'm doing blood panel.
Well, so they did a blood panel, which I expected, but I asked him, because like an important thing that nobody ever tells you have to ask is when you go into your doctor's office and they say, hey, we want to do tests, you need to ask them, do you do the testing in-house or do you do it elsewhere? Because if you do it elsewhere, it is like a $500 difference in what you pay out of pocket, especially if you have like a high deductible healthcare plan. I asked him, I was like, are we doing the testing in-house? And he said, yeah. They drew the blood in-house. They did not do the testing.
Oh, and they sent it. Yeah.
They sent it out. And so now I'm sitting on a nearly $600 bill. And I could probably try to contest it, but this is all based on speech that happened. Like, it was his word against mine kind of thing.
It's you against, like, a healthcare conglomerate.
Right.
Like,
and
that's doctors.
And I'm just not going to win that one. So I'm not going to fight it. But, like, I'm just also not going to pay the bills. Yeah. I'm just not going to do it. And fun fact, there is a pretty high threshold of medical that you can accrue before it starts to hit your credit.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to find out exactly how much it is.
I think it's $20,000.
Okay.
So I think up to $20,000 can't touch your credit. Beyond $20,000, they can start hitting your credit if you're not paying those bills. Fact check the shit out of this.
That's my health insurance plan. Let's keep it under $20,000 every year of unpaid bills.
Right. And don't fact check, or do fact check me on this. Don't take what I'm saying at base value. I could be horribly off on those numbers, but I want to say I heard $20,000 before it actually starts to chip away at your credit. And my goal is not to just go in and blow out the $20,000 in debt. But
this is my rainy day debt threshold.
Right. Fund. I do have a high deductible health plan, which means that I have to pay a shitload out of pocket before things start to get covered. I will probably change my health plan because I was recently diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. Oh. I have psoriatic arthritis, which is part of what I'm going to talk about today. I don't want to hog the mic today. I feel like I did better last episode. I feel
the last episode was very balanced.
Yeah, I feel like the riffing episode was better too. I'm just trying to not be like, it's so weird.
Yeah, but if you got a beef with the healthcare industry, you need to get it off your chest.
I know, buddy. We're going to. When I had you in mind, like when I hit you up and was like, hey, do you want to do this podcast with me? I was like, Phil's going to do a lot of talking. Like, we got to let Phil, he's the comedy guy. He's the funny guy. And then I feel like I just make it real heavy every time I talk. And then run with it. But
I can make it heavy too. We can out heavy each other until someone turns it off.
Until we're just sobbing and then my wife has to come in and go.
Yeah, turns the lights off and gives us blankets.
And we just cry together. She's like, I just moved the hotel reservation back one night. It's fine. We're just going to go tomorrow.
Tropical storm outside anyway.
It's a storm. One of the things, like, I don't know.
What is psoriatic arthritis?
Painful.
Okay.
So psoriasis is a skin condition. I have it. Honestly, like if you've been watching the videos, you may have noticed that
his skin's been peeling off slowly.
Right. Yeah. Like my flesh just falls out. But I do, like, I wear a lot of dark clothes because, fucking former scene kid. And I never shook the black. If the camera quality is good enough, you'll notice like dandruff and stuff on my shoulders and stuff. But like I have big scales and patches of red inflamed skin all over my body. It's all over my legs. It's not really on my arms. I do have like some patches that have started to pop up on my elbows.
Now I'm looking at myself. I'm like, wait, do I have psoriasis?
But like right here, you can kind of see, and I have a red like ring here.
Right at your hairline.
Yeah, and my scalp is really bad. I get these big scales. But on top of that psoriasis, my joints hurt all the time. Like I wake up and I'm just achy and sore, and I'm always exhausted. It sucks. And
so those are related.
So they're all part of the same autoimmune condition.
It's all symptoms of your body attacking itself.
Right, correct. And to get treatment, I have to have an immunosuppressant, which this is funny. So I don't know if I actually told you about this, but I had to get a blood work done before I get the immunosuppressant because you have to make sure you hit a few certain marks because they don't
want to do it too much.
Right. They want to like hit you with it. And then they find out that you had something else that is now exacerbated because of that. So I went and got a blood test, and specifically the thing they have to test for this particular immunosuppressant that I'm going to be on is for tuberculosis, which I thought it was done. Like, what
a wild way to find out you have tuberculosis too.
Yeah, and I do. But like I don't have like the black lung. Like I'm not like coughing myself to death and chunks of my lung aren't coming up. But apparently, based on what the doctor I spoke to said, it can just be dormant. And then what it does is it waits for your immune system to become suppressed, and then it flares up. So in order to avoid the potential of a tuberculosis flare-up, I'm waiting until I get back from vacation because apparently one of the medications can just make like all of your bodily fluids turn red, like your spit, your sweat, everything else that comes out of you can all turn red. And I just didn't want to be
it's not the ideal
glistening with a blood glow at the beach.
blood. Yeah, blood. I've been working on my blood glow.
Yeah, but by the way, quick pause. I'm not going to derail too hard, but I am so sorry for all the mouth sounds. You know how many dad sounds I edit out? Like, people have probably been watching and noticed where my expression changes. I make so many dad mouth sounds. So I apologize.
It could be like a weird form of ASMR.
Yeah. Dad ASMR.
People who didn't have dads in their lives, you just sit there and go...
I did derail. My bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, I was going to point out that, not to be disrespectful, but you could probably see on the video when the guy who I've been sitting next to for weeks on end, it just all of a sudden is like, well, I have tuberculosis, but it's dormant. My face, I was probably just like,
oh, shit.
I don't know a lot about tuberculosis.
It's not contagious.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not anything like to get tuberculosis. And the whole thing is, I guess it could be a false positive, but I asked the doctor, I was
That'd be a hell of a false positive.
Yeah, I was like, so if I take these antibiotics and I don't actually have tuberculosis, is it going to do anything? He's like, nah, probably not. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, but no, he didn't say it like that, but he's cool. He's like, no, we're just going to make sure you don't have it. I was like, okay. And I asked him, I was like, do I need to like quarantine for my family or anything? He's like, no.
No, they probably have it too.
Well, he
doesn't matter at this point.
But he was like, no, it should be fine. Like, he's like, you would have to be symptomatic to spread it. It's really hard to do it without it. And then my first thought was, who the fuck did I run into that was symptomatic for tuberculosis?
It was someone at like somewhere else tavern or something.
Probably like the tavern itself. Years ago. Yeah, like just tuberculosis on the walls.
Somewhere else tuberculosis.
Yeah, so now I have to do this regimen of antibiotics before I can get the immunosuppressant. And I'm racking up bills on this, and it's miserable. It has made me less mobile. It like movement just sucks in general. And it's not like agonizing pain. It's just inconveniences. The fatigue is chronic. It sucks.
It's like the inconveniencing feeling of like, when it's raining a little bit, but not a lot. And it's just kind of pitter-patter in your face. And you're like, dude, just decide if you're going to downpour or not.
Like, just do this. And stop making me feel wet, even though I'm not technically wet. Yeah, that kind of thing. But, like, it sucks. Because right before our oldest was born, which is now 8 years ago, as of yesterday. Because, again, we're filming this episode right after the last one that we filmed, which was
a week ago.
Which also, but somehow is also just the day after my son's birthday. Either way, 8 years ago, I was like 410, I think it was like 407 was the high, the largest I've ever been. I was miserable. I was hurting all the time. This was before I'd been diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis. Like, I didn't even have the skin condition or anything popping up. I hated it. Like, I just looked at myself. I was miserable. I don't consider myself a particularly good-looking person. I don't. Like, I think at best, on my best day, I'm just kind of average, right? So like
that's I feel the same way. That's what we can hope to be,
right?
And that's kind of what you can get away with as a guy too, to be able to still like bag someone better looking than yourself. Oh, like it's. We got it easy.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop for whatever I did to get my something is going to be taken from me.
Yeah,
because my wife is just a 1,000 out of 10, and I have I look like a sentient beanbag chair filled with cream corn. Like that's what I look like.
I just look like a fucking bird.
Bird.
And we definitely could very well just be two guys sitting here being like, our wives are gorgeous, and they are, but then they're not. But they are.
But yeah, no.
We're not fake bragging.
Listen, we all know those people that have their special person, and to their spouse they are the most gorgeous person, but to the rest of the world, that's who I am in the relationship.
Yeah, you don't get the
right. Yeah. People listen to
I can see it.
Yeah. People listen to my wife and they're like, oh, that's what he is for you. You're a very attractive person, and he's that guy that you see the beauty in, but nobody else does.
And you keep it secret to yourself.
Yeah.
It's your special little thing, and you can nurture it.
So, for me, considering that I don't find myself particularly attractive, being 400 pounds was already just crushing me in terms of...
Literally.
Yes, literally, and metaphoric or figuratively, I guess, metaphorically, whatever. It just mentally was weighing on me. I wanted to see a little more value in myself, and because of the culture we're raised in, being fat is demoralizing. So I started dieting, and I cut a bunch of sugar out, because dude, when I tell you that I was super unhealthy, I was drinking multiple 12 packs of soda a day. It was crazy. Death. Yeah, and I still do drink zero sugar soda, but we're not multiple packs a day anymore.
Yeah, I'm a zero sugar ginger ale.
Yeah, I do. I like the special flavors of Mountain Dew and zero sugar, but normally I prefer the drink pack strawberry lemonade or something.
Yeah.
The Weiler's Light or whatever. No, actually Target has a really good batch of lemonade mixes.
We just get these drink packs from Aldi, the little sticks. And
yeah.
It's caffeine and electrolytes.
So you get to zoom and be hydrated.
Yeah, you're just kind of ew. And then I mix creatine in there too, even though I didn't do anything physical. And I'm just going to start just jiggling and just... I'm holding on to all this water for the apocalypse.
You've essentially made yourself a version of the C4 pre-workout by doing all those things combined.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, dude, I feel kind of jacked and amped after this.
So I did diet. I did start working out. I started lifting weights. I actually got pretty strong. I started to get some serious muscle. I actually made an Instagram to keep track of it, and I haven't updated it in years because
you achieved everything and you maintained it.
Sure. No, I failed. I fell flat on my face with it, and I looked good. I stopped doing the dieting, which, to be fair, it wasn't like I had a great diet laid out and I just fell off the wagon and was like, fuck this diet. I was doing keto, low carb, high fat, moderate protein. And keto is not something that should... unless your doctor specifically tells you need to be on keto, it's not something that should be done.
It can affect your kidneys or something.
It can do all kinds of stuff if your body's not meant for it. And one of the important lessons I did learn, if you listen to your body, you'll find out what you should and should not be consuming. When I eat too much sugar, I get lethargic, I feel sick, I feel bloated, I hate my life. I just shouldn't eat that much sugar. When I eat a good, healthy, moderate amount of protein, some good high-fiber vegetables, I feel like I can run a marathon. And that's my body hey, we want more of this. Let's do this.
It's pretty plainly telling you.
Yeah. Even after I quit keto, I didn't gain all the weight back immediately, because I was working out. So I was actually putting on quite a bit of mass still, and I was pretty big in the positive.
Which I guess is a risk if you slip because you're adding mass. And then if you slip up, you're like, oh, I just added 2.
now we've kind of come to where the fall off happened because I hurt my back a while ago. I say a while ago, it was a few years ago. And it really put me out of commission. Couldn't lift, couldn't do anything. And I had quit doing the keto thing. So I was just back to eating whatever I wanted. Not working out. Aside from work. I did still work in retail. I worked in a grocery store. I was moving around a lot. Like, I was getting my steps in. I was 25,000 to 30,000 steps a day easy.
I feel like that's like such a thing now too, is like getting your steps in, because people realize how much just walking helps. And it's such a change from our, current more sedentary lifestyles. Like, literally just walking.
It'll do
from the kitchen to the living room, back and forth. Like, it'll help you.
It will. And like I need to do more of that too. So I hurt my back, took a break. Noticed I was putting some weight back on again, because I got down to 240 was as low as I got. So I went from 400 to 240. I lost 160 pounds.
That's a whole person.
Yeah. It's more than my wife and my son together. Like, I lost 2 people's worth of weight. I was feeling good at 240. I was feeling really good. And I was confident. I was taking selfies, loving life, feeling a lot.
La vida loca, man.
Right. Feeling a lot more attractive. Feeling more social. Hurt my back. I gained a few pounds back. And I was like, this is gross. But, like, then I started to engage in this very bad, unhealthy, like, off again, off again relationship with fitness and with dieting. And I would always do this rationalization in my head and go, well, I can have a cheat day.
Yeah.
And then I'll go, well, I already ate like crap for Saturday. Might as well just go through the whole weekend and then start back the diet Monday. Or shoulders a little stiff, I should just take the day off the gym. Well, I'll just take a couple days, right? Like, just really make sure the shoulder's good.
The air pressure outside is just a little bit higher than I normally prefer.
Right.
I'm going to do a mukbang.
Yeah, exactly. No, just like nonsense, just justification for not eating right, not dieting.
And I'm doing that to myself, too, because I'm, sober now, and still gotta have something to reward myself.
Yeah.
So I literally, if I have a hard day at work, I will do psychological backflips with my wife, and then finally be able to just get myself Taco Bell.
Yeah, get yourself
after a hard day.
A little
I'm
treat.
like a little hamster that does tricks. Like,
and just, that's what it is like, it's the treats.
It makes me feel good.
Yeah. It continued with that pattern, and then I wonder why I slipped 2 discs in my back. I don't, because I was so inconsistent. I was so back and forth. I was constantly like, all right, I'm back in the gym. And the problem that I really run into is, like, if I don't have someone there to engage with, it's really hard for me to, because I feel awkward. Like, if I have someone with me, we can work out a plan together and we go, okay, this is what it's leg day. We're going to go hit all these leg machines. You're going to hold me accountable. I'm going to hold you accountable.
You got to have an accountability buddy.
Right. I've not been able to find anyone who will do that with me.
Sorry, I'm not a fitness guy.
No,
I'll be your podcast accountability buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we both have that tendency of, like, starting creative stuff
I am
and then stopping.
Amazed that we have hit 6 weeks.
Me too.
By the way, like,
it makes me feel good.
It does, and like
takes me back to the example of the last episode, the Hayabusa armor.
Yeah,
like, we're doing it,
and we're seeing growth, which is the other thing that tickles that reward center.
Yeah,
but. I know I'm hogging up most of this, but the whole thing I want to get to is, like, I slipped 2 discs in my back last year, actually right around this time. I did so much damage to my body that I couldn't walk for, I think it was like 4 weeks. I couldn't even walk. I could not walk. When it happened, my youngest son was trying to kill me, really. That's what it was.
He got close.
He climbed up on the couch, and he was just learning how to climb, and he kind of, like, started to... It looked like he was flipping over the edge, so I, like, end zone dove to catch him, and he didn't even fall off, and then I just, like, felt something tug in my back, and so then I went to sit on the couch, and when I grabbed the diaper to change him, and for some reason when I went to turn and do his diaper, whatever that motion did, my wife was at work. I was like, I can't move. I'm in so much pain. I need you to come home now. And she was like, what did you do? I was like, I don't know, but I can't.
Probably broke my back.
I was like, I can't stand up.
Something's severed or something.
I thought.
That's what I'm thinking.
I thought
going was severed.
I thought I'd paralyzed myself, but I could feel my legs, and I was like, well, I don't know if that's what you're supposed to be able to do, or like, do you just lose function?
Or is that like the phantom leg feeling?
Right. And so we have like this roll mat that's like it's like a Japanese floor mattress kind of thing. I had my oldest son bring that out because like that was the lightest thing I could think of, and I had him lay it out, and I rolled myself off the couch onto my stomach, and I was stuck there. Like, I could not move. So she got home, and I had the kids come lay down beside me, and I was like, all right, I'm going to take care of you guys this way. And luckily, my oldest son is old enough to, like, if he needs a snack or a drink, or if I need him to go fill up his brother's snack bowl or whatever.
That's convenient.
Like, he was there. I was stuck, and I thank God for Teledoc, because at first my wife got in, and I tried to...
Your Teledoc's like, are you upside down right now?
That one was funny.
Interesting angle.
My wife got home, and she was like, do you need to go to the emergency room or urgent care? And I was like, I need to go to one of those places because I'd hurt my back before. And I know what the gig is, right? It's steroids. They go shoot you with steroid. It reduces the inflammation so you have a little more mobility. And then you have a better image of what's happening. I couldn't even stand up. I finally got onto my feet, and then I tried to sit in the car, and my body refused to make that motion.
Yeah, that posture.
Yeah,
sitting in the car.
Like, my body just wouldn't bend far enough for me to even sit in the car. So, ended up going back, laying back, stomach down on the floor mat, because that was the only way I could exist. Got on Teledoc with a doctor. He sent a prescription for an oral steroid. Got there, and I was able to bend my back enough to sit. And for 4 weeks, I couldn't leave the couch. For 4 weeks, my wife had to cater to my every whim. Thank God I could still wipe my ass, because she would have left me.
Yeah, that's a line for a lot of people.
But she had to help me still, like, get down to the toilet and stand up from the toilet. I had to have assistance in any movement. Walking from... like you've seen my living room, we have a half bath in there. That's the bathroom I would use. Walking from the couch to the half bath is maybe 20 feet, and it was excruciating. Like, I could barely do it. And my wife is not 6'6", 300 pounds. She is tiny.
Yeah, she's very much not that.
Yeah, and so she was like using every bit of strength she had to help me get there. I was miserable. I was hurt. And then after that 4 weeks, I started to notice, like, I can kind of get up on my own. But I still had to have a cane. So I walked with a cane for another 8 weeks. So for 12 weeks, at least, I was just pathetic.
You were not normal, everyday Cole.
Right. And as a result, I gained a bunch of weight. I hate it but silver lining, I never got back up to 400. 326.
There you go. Being kind to yourself. That's good.
Which was a few weeks ago. 326 is as big as I got again, but I have not gotten back to 400. But I'm just not happy with the way I look, which is why I thought we should make this episode, because I think other dads out there, other parents, honestly, I feel like maybe moms even get hit with it harder, but parents in general that go through these changes that happen when you're aging, because the things that we don't pay attention to are the fact that we are also aging, right? And our bodies take significant shifts after certain age milestones, like 25 and then 30. Yeah. And I just want other people to know, like, I don't just love that I look like this. If I could be chiseled up, shredded, whatever, or even just like kind of like a dad bod. Yeah. But, that muscly top.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The muscly, but it's like that guy looks like he drinks beer, but he also works out.
Right.
Yeah.
If I could look like that, I'd be happy. One of the worst parts, which I didn't really have an ass to begin with, but, like, my glutes are gone.
You got the Hank Hill ass?
Yes. Like, it's concave. Like, it's gone. So, I lost a lot of strength in my legs, too, and in my lower back. obviously. So that whole area is just really gross and messed up.
It's just temporarily neglected.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things soon. But, like, it's one of those things where I looked at my wife one day and I was like, just like, but I'm not afraid to admit that I cry from time to time, and I was just like, if you're not into me anymore, I get it. And she was like, what?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. But I feel like it's so important for people in general to learn that, like, life happens. The expectation is that you either learn to love yourself or you change things until you do love yourself, but, like, you're never allowed to hate yourself. Or you're never allowed to passively hate yourself. If you hate yourself, you have to be moving and you have to be doing something. And that's fucking hard. Dude, I was depressed.
Yeah.
Like, I sunk into a very deep pit.
You lost some, like, value of what you contribute and who you are.
Right. And, like, I felt pathetic. I felt like a loser. I was like, how did this happen? And, like, it wasn't like I stopped a bus from careening off a cliff and saved a school bus full of children. I thought I had to jump and save my kid, and any other physically sound human being would have been like, ow, I kind of hurt my knee when I did that. That's about it. I crippled myself, and it sucks. I don't want to harp on myself. I just wanted to kind of, like, give that history and let people know that, like, sometimes your unspoken part of all of this is, like, that's a significant story, and there's a significant reason behind what you're doing. So, like, if you have things like that going on, if you have health situations, if you have issues, like, it's okay. It's just, you should take care of yourself.
Yeah, and
you should.
There's, like, the preventative stuff, and there are just things that happen to you as well. And I'm pretty sure we had, like, a pretty similar 2024. Now that I'm thinking about it, because in March of last year, I was T-boned in a hit and run by a truck at an intersection off of Highway 68. Greensboro police never caught the guy. They gave up after 3 weeks. That's a separate thing. We're going into the health parts, but I did sustain a little bit of brain damage. Little brain damage. The neurologist was like, yeah, one of your, like, arteries in your brain shut down. And I was like, oh. He's like, but you have others in there. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, some stuff might just be different, but yeah, that
you might not ever be able to say your child's name again, but everything else should be fine.
Yeah, and as a bald guy already, now to have, like, a scar, it's hard to see maybe on camera, but it's fairly deep, and it's there forever. That affects how I think of how I look, but I was legitimately, I don't remember a lot of the beginning of 2024. And I just wanted to sit on the couch and just scroll and whatever. And I mean, this goes back to mental health too, but it was the physical aspect of, I wasn't, able to go outside for a while and see sunlight. And so all of a sudden you're not getting your vitamin D and stuff like that just spiraled. And I was horribly depressed last year too. Yeah. And it sucked. And then, on top of that with the healthcare system is I had to bank on being extremely depressed and staying on top of my shitty lawyer to sue my own insurance company, basically to, get some compensation so I can pay the medical bills from when I was taken in an ambulance and, visiting a neurologist and stuff. So that part of the system was really eye-opening to me as well. Like, I was like, I have to sue and have this lawyer guy. I should have just asked ChatGPT, honestly. That would have been free.
Probably
and came in clutch.
You probably would have had better results.
Yeah, and so it's just, I was having to, like, maintain this, like, constantly in pain head, both within and without, and stay on top of a lawyer and all this, just to get back the money I spent, basically not saving my life, because if I would have been hit like a little earlier or later, I probably would have snapped my neck. But luckily I just slammed my head into, like, the,
You're so
rearview
lucky.
mirror.
You're so lucky.
Yeah, so luckily I only had brain damage and not neck damage. So I don't know. It's just
I just think I think we're gonna call this episode "We American Healthcare" because
we've both taken a ride on it.
And if I wasn't petrified of the American, like, my wife asked me if I wanted to call an ambulance, and I should have.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like, my back is still not 100%. This is a year later. And I probably should have gone to a hospital. And I probably should have seen if we needed to have emergency surgery. I went to urgent care after the fact, when I was able to move and sit again. And they were like, yeah, you slipped some discs in your back. And I was like, okay, what do we do there from here? And they were like, well, gonna go to the spine center. We're gonna do some imaging, and then
it sounds expensive right off the bat. It's got the word spine in it.
And then I was like, okay, so I went there and we did the initial consultation. And they did some X-rays, and they were like, yeah, we can see where it's kind of probably slipped discs and stuff. And I was like, probably, like, bro, I can't walk. And they were like, so you're gonna go to physical therapy? And I was like, nope, that's where you lost me. I'm not doing any more of this. Like, this is too expensive, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, and
it shouldn't be that way.
I have epilepsy too, and like the couple times I had a seizure in public, my wife now knows to make sure bystanders don't call an ambulance too. They're like,
which is crazy.
Like, he will hopefully get up and be okay. Just don't call an ambulance, which is nuts.
Yeah, which is insane to me. Like, we shouldn't live in a place where we can't, like, it shouldn't financially cripple someone, especially in a country that wants to take away people's right to choose whether or not they want to be parents. You should not be crippled financially for having a kid. Okay? We hear all the time people are having less kids, and the right wants to do something about that, and their solution is to just cut off all health care and make sure that it's just inaccessible to get an abortion or whatever, and that's not the solution. I guarantee you, if you made healthcare more accessible, if you made our infrastructure more suited to people that aren't afraid to go to the doctor to be taken care of, they would be more confident in bringing kids into this world. If you really want to see population growth for whatever reason, I don't think we need it.
I would myself too. And like this morning, I failed at doing what you at least did catching your son. My daughter fell off the bed. Yeah. And I was dealing with real bad guilt about that because I was like, she might have like concussion, brain bleeding. Yeah, you reassured me she'll be fine. That's all I need. That's what I can afford right now. But it just sucks that like I was
I'm your doctor now.
I was trying to comfort her. And I was already thinking, I was like, if we have to take her to like a pediatrician, like what's that going to cost? And when I could just have been sitting there actually comforting her and not being mentally away from the situation, thinking about like, call an ambulance? Do they make ambulances for children specifically? Like,
the craziest thing to me is that this country has somehow demonized, socialized concepts so much that if you ask for health care, people on one side of the aisle will go, that's socialism. No, we're not doing that.
Even you saying that is making that weird, I'm sitting next to a communist part of my brain go off. And not intentionally. It's like ingrained.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I believe in socialized programs. I believe that America, with one of the largest infrastructures aside from, I think, China, the largest infrastructure in the world, I pay a fucking shitload of taxes, and I'm tired of giving them to Israel. I really fucking am. I'm so sick of it.
Who has...
By the way, who has universal health care? Israel, the country we are just funneling missile money into, has health care that we don't have. And you're telling me that you think it's socialist to sit there and go, hey, I'd rather just spend my tax money there instead of not there. And there's a whole... Oh, dude, I got into it real deep last night on like a rabbit hole. But there's a whole thing now, because RFK says he wants everybody in America wearing wearables.
Yeah, I hope you can get your beach trip in before you're taken to the autism camp, by the way.
I'm so excited. It's gonna...
You're gonna come back home and there's gonna be some dudes in uniforms waiting at your front door.
I was told that we're gonna get to...
I'll be like, dude, which one are you getting?
Sort objects by size and stuff. It's gonna be super fun. But no, like, he wants
Hope we get sent to ones where we can keep doing the podcast.
Yeah, like maybe we can request to be sent to the same one, and we're just gonna sit there and they're gonna have blocks of wood, and we're just gonna be like, anyways. So on today's podcast, I'm like, this is fine. But
let him have it.
But no, like, he wants everyone in America, apparently, to have wearables by 2029. And then there's this whole conspiracy that I don't think is really quite a conspiracy. I think it's reality. Because if you start to connect the dots, you see that it's, once again, goes towards the tech billionaires and their ambitions. And it's terrifying. And that's not what kind of podcast this is, because it is very dark. Like, people keep comparing the current situation in America to 1930s Germany, and like, that is, if it goes in this direction, nobody can deny it at this point. I think we stepped too close the minute that we started letting anybody rewrite laws and remove checks and balances. We got too close. But if just understand that, like, healthcare is being privatized and weaponized for a reason in America, and it is bizarre to me that people...
A reason besides greed, right? Well, yeah.
Power, like, yeah, I guess. But, like, it all comes down to greed, but, like, just control. And it's crazy to me that, like, so many people are against socialized because they just hear socialized and then they go, socialist. Social. And that's not what that means. That just means that I don't want to bomb children anymore. I want my children to be able to go to the doctor without me having to worry about if I'm going to lose my fucking home.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I'm not asking you to, like, give all of your paycheck to me so that I specifically can benefit and then nobody else can. Because guess what? We're already in that system, right? Hardworking people are paying for the people that don't pay to exist in a better state than they are. They think it's poor people that are on welfare. It's not. It's billionaires that don't pay a fucking dollar in taxes and get unlimited healthcare, unlimited resources given to them, and then all of a sudden, we can't afford to go to the hospital, and they have hospitals in their homes. Tell me how that makes sense. It doesn't. I'll tell you, it doesn't make sense. And we shouldn't be worried about that. We as parents shouldn't have to worry about, should I take myself off my own healthcare plan so I can make sure that my kids have the best healthcare plan that they can have.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to worry about that. We shouldn't have to worry about, is it the right thing to take my kid to the emergency room right now?
Should I consult ChatGPT about my daughter slamming her head on the floor and falling off the bed?
We shouldn't have to be in these dire straits. And then what do? We see our country run by people who just steamrolled all of their constituents because not one person I know was fully in support of what just happened in our country. That big, disastrous behemoth of a bill, which, again, another thought on that is there was no reason to put it all in one bill. There wasn't. If you want to understand why they did it, you need to understand that they wanted to hide stuff. They wanted to make it hard to find the fine print, and they wanted to make it difficult for us to stop and read and go, I don't like what's in here. I'm pro Second Amendment.
Buddy, I can't read it because I can't afford new glasses.
Right. But, like, I'm pro Second Amendment. Son of a bitch. I'm pro Second Amendment. They slipped something cool for Second Amendment fans in there.
Yeah, same here.
By the way, like, I say I'm pro Second Amendment. That probably makes me sound like yee-haw, like we should kill more kids in schools. No, not in that way. We'll talk about that more. I think that's a more nuanced conversation.
It's a fun episode, just dads and guns.
Yeah,
and
because
safety.
Because dads do like guns,
and
shooting guns is fun. But there's a whole conversation that has to happen around that. So just stay with me if you're starting to edge away here. But, like, little silver linings like that do not qualify for that to be something that they can just pile all together. And little things like that do slip through the cracks, though.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and so, like, we got that NFA tax removal pushed through on the bill. Cool. That's one thing that was decent about that bill, in my opinion. And other people are like, I don't want that to happen.
It's kind of like how when a new game or something comes out, everyone is just kind of banking on some guy somewhere reading the terms and conditions.
Right.
And so you just hit accept because you're like, I bet someone read this.
Right. Well, and that's a whole other thing. We'll do a video games part 2 and talk about how you don't own any of the games that you have anymore.
Yeah.
But no, like, I don't know. This episode turned into, again, another really dark place to go. But, like, healthcare...
It could make it less dark if we could, like, Photoshop the communist flag waving behind you.
Yeah.
And, like,
just
the old
as
Russian
I'm ranting, just a faint overlay of Lenin.
You're talking about something that's deeply affected both of our lives, and I'm just making a mockery of it.
But I don't know. I don't feel. I'm also like not really down with capitalism. Like I don't like it. I think that I don't know what system I like. I've only ever lived in capitalism, and I've seen how awful it is, because that's the main motor behind what is ruining us. And like it's no longer about chasing the most desirable conditions for life. It's becoming a fight to survive. And I think the problem that we're facing is a lot of these people that have all this money have deluded themselves into not understanding what happens when you put a scared dog in a corner. And in this situation, the American people are the scared dogs. I think it was a general in Japan was asked why, and I could be wrong. If I am, correct me.
If you are, maybe we'll finally get our first email
to our why are you such an idiot? So
is this Dadvice, or how do we respond to this?
Is that what you want us to answer?
How
that
to
question?
Stop being and or hanging out with idiots?
Right. But no, I think it was a Japanese general that said, like, was asked why people don't invade America, and I think he said something to the effect of, "There's a gun behind every blade of grass," and this is the time where the Second Amendment, and this is where I come in and say I'm pro Second Amendment. I know I said we're going to do this on another episode, and we will, but like, this is where I'm pro Second Amendment. Is eventually, if people I don't think they understand how many Luigis they just made. I really don't.
I think the thing that's probably scaring a lot of people too in the system and such is like how that kind of worked. But I'm not going to give opinion on it, but how it
disclaimer real quick, we're not endorsing violence on any scale, but it worked.
Just seeing how their stock fell and stuff, you're like, they're probably like, there's definitely a correlation there.
Yeah, and the problem
weird
is,
timing.
Like, those people that hold those guns that are behind every blade of grass are going to get fed up if we don't take care of our people. And if we don't take care of our health needs as people, there's only going to be so much death that will be tolerated before these people go, this could have been avoided, it should have been avoided, and I'm going to make the people responsible pay for this. I don't condone violence on any scale.
I don't publicly condone violence.
Thank you. Good clarification. I don't publicly condone violence. That being said, I would understand. And some people might be like, how could you possibly say that? Because them taking away healthcare is a form of violence against us, and that needs to be understood clearly and loudly. That is a form of violence against the working class. And you and I, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, we are part of the working class. And solidarity is the only way we're going to get through this. Solidarity is the only way that people are going to finally get what they need. Because I'm terrified that when my dad gets sick, when my uncle gets sick, because I'm one of the only two people that will take care of them.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to do that.
Yeah.
With custom Medicaid and stuff, I just don't
You
know.
have that debate. You're like, do we want to pay for them to have care in their own house? And how do we do that? Or do we want to risk putting them in a home where if the check bounces, they will literally throw them on the curb?
They've done it.
And they do
like, because our system is built to be for profit. And it cannot exist this way anymore. And I know that this turned into some anti-government socialist
It really
rant,
did.
But like...
But we've both been deeply impacted by the healthcare system.
And there are other people that might be
my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, because for some reason I'm the child in my family that was just born with the most random ailments throughout my life. So I've seen it firsthand and seen, my parents when we were younger and they didn't have as much, like... I felt guilty for having to go to the hospital and stuff. And it was
and
like,
you shouldn't feel that way.
And like, I can't control this. And
And like, it's, I think because of what the reason we do this podcast is to connect to people. I want people to be able to resonate with this point in particular. You're not alone in being terrified of having to go to the doctor. You're not alone in being terrified of taking care of yourself, but you shouldn't have to be. And that's what I want people to understand, because as a parent, it is one of the most difficult things to accept, that you might one day have to choose between crippling poverty and saving your child's life, or losing a child, or your child losing you. And those are the two options you're faced with. It should never be that way. It shouldn't be that way. And the people, I will tell you right now, the people at the top with the most money, they do not value human life. You can find, like, recordings. That's how you
get to the top.
Yeah, you can find recordings of these people saying they don't think humanity should survive. They don't think humanity in its current state should continue. These are monsters. If I get taken out by a sniper, you guys know who did it. Okay, just understand. Go through my Facebook and you'll find out. But
yeah, you left pretty big breadcrumbs.
Yeah, so
bread chunks.
Bread chunk. They're gonna delete
just whole loaves.
They're gonna delete my account, not even because of this.
They'll delete you.
Yeah, they're just.
They'll be like, one down. Now we gotta keep shredding down to that 100 million target of people living.
There you go.
Seen that too.
Steve Miller.
Yeah.
Which, God, 100 million of him, he's just awful. But
we can end this positively too, though.
Please do, because I feel like it got so dark.
It got dark. What is because we were both also just mean to ourselves in the beginning of the episode, and I kind of thought about, I knew I would do this to myself too before I came over here, but what's like a health thing that you actually do well? And I'll start so you can think about it.
Thank you.
I'm actually pretty good at giving myself the opportunity to have the right amount of sleep. And I know it's like one of the easiest things to do, but I'm actually... It took me like years to get this way, but I'm good at stopping myself from scrolling or whatever and actually just letting myself go to bed at a decent time and not feeling like I'm missing out on anything, or, and that's one of those few healthy things that I do.
I don't think I have anything as profound as that, but I will say that I'm good.
But just sleeping.
I do.
The easiest thing to do.
I do get some sleep, but one thing I will say is I'm good at receiving information and changing based on new information. I know that sounds like a simple thing, like, yeah, that's what you should do. But I think that a lot of people do struggle with that, is because they get into these habits and they think, oh, well, this diet works for me, this is what I'm going to stick with. And then new information comes out about that diet, and they're like, well, you're just wrong.
Confirmation bias. Dodging that.
Yeah, and that's, for me, like, right now, the way I've lost the pounds that I've lost, because I know I said it at the beginning, I lost, I think, 14 pounds. 15 pounds, something like that.
Nice.
And it's just calories in versus calories out. Like, just understanding how much I'm burning, understanding how much I should eat each day. And it's such a simple concept. But for me, like, I was so programmed in my brain at first, like, just carbs are the enemy. And then I just kind of realized that carbs aren't the enemy. Carbs are actually good
still
for your
kind
body
of
when you
need
need them.
them.
If you're
you need that long-term energy.
right, and unless your doctor tells you not to consume carbs, you shouldn't really be cutting them super aggressively. But like just my ability to take new information and go, okay, I just need to modify my lifestyle this way, and it works sometimes. Obviously, I lost 15 pounds.
Yeah.
You guys probably don't see it because again, funhouse mirror effect here. But
it actually looks like you lost 70 pounds.
Right, because if I lean
so
in
inflated
slightly,
before, you're just less inflated now from the camera angle.
But no, I think that's a positive thing I can say about myself. And I feel like I should end this episode. Yeah, we're at about an hour, which means that we're about, after cutting, we're about 45 minutes. But I feel like I should end this episode by apologizing to anybody who's made it this far in. I didn't mean to bum everyone out.
Yeah, Cole is really sorry for everything he's done to you.
I suck. I'm awful.
I'm still perfect and a great co-host. So I mean, I'll just apologize on his behalf.
You're doing great, buddy.
Thanks.
And I take back all the good things I said about myself. If that makes you feel better, okay? So
we'll edit out those parts.
Yeah.
It's just me going, "What's a good health thing that you do?" And you just go, and then it just cuts.
I almost want to do that edit.
And then it just and then you can just cut it to me going, and I'm just the perfect co-host, and then that's how you punish yourself.
I almost want to make that edit. We might do that for a short or something.
That'd be funny.
Because
it's just you breathing, making a dad noise for half a second.
No, but I just again, in the spirit of this podcast and wanting everybody to know that there are just people like them out there. I don't want everyone to be afraid, but I understand most people are, and
yeah.
You just shouldn't have to be.
Your propensity to like Google something about your child's health or if they have an injury, everybody does it. Our instinct is to Google first because
I have,
because the alternative is just going straight to a doctor and then you're like, well, what if they tell me what I would have Googled?
Right.
It just
I Google stuff that my 2-year-old does all the time, and I'm like, is this okay? And Google's like, maybe. I don't know.
Like, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a human.
Probably. So, you'll be fine. If he starts to hemorrhage from his mouth and nose, then no.
Yeah, that's usually a bad sign.
But usually it's too late at that point. So,
less than ideal conditions.
But, no, I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we're both going on vacation. I'm hoping that
we sound like we needed it.
Yeah, honestly. Well, that's what I was about to say, is hopefully we can go.
2024 was miserable, but we're going to the beach.
Yeah, woo!
I went to the beach in 2024, but I was miserable while I was there.
Well, it's funny because, like, I was at the beach. The last time I was at the beach was right after my back injury, and I couldn't even lay in the bed.
You were just like, God, I love the beach.
I was sitting in the couch of the hotel room like this, trying to sleep every night because I couldn't lay flat because it hurt too bad.
You're like, babe, honestly, this is great. I would so much rather be in pain here than somewhere else.
And that's ultimately what it came down to. Is like, hey, I got the beach though.
Yeah.
But no.
Hey, well, and as the years goes on, we'll have even more beach to enjoy as the oceans rise.
Right.
So.
Woo!
That's a positive.
I'm
ending on a positive.
But hopefully, I'm hoping we can get together next Sunday after we're both back and do another episode or two. But hopefully things are a little more positive that episode after we've both had our nice vacation time, and hopefully I don't get food poisoning from eating seafood again. But
I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, which goes against what I said about sleep. But that wasn't my fault. That was my daughter's fault.
Idiot daughters. Get rid of your kids. I think that's ultimately what we're saying.
It just becomes the voice podcast. We take the dad part out.
All right, so this was the health episode, the physical health episode.
We'll definitely do another health episode in the future that isn't like some insane call to arms.
Oh yeah, hopefully not as anti-government in the next one. But if you're here, we're glad you're here. We appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share. Again, somewhere here in the middle of the screen, there will be the email, thedadvoicepod@gmail.com. Email us. We are trying to get emails to come in so we can do a segment called Dadvice. We have not gotten any yet. We want you to send them in. You can ask us any question about, like, we might even end up getting questions that we make entire episodes on. But either way, we want to start kind of doing a segment at the butt of each episode where we read questions or thoughts that you guys send for Dadvice. And it's we're not going to give you professional grade advice. We're going to tell you from our perspective what we think about whatever thing you ask us or tell us. So the dadvoicepod@gmail.com, subject line Dadvice, if you want us to talk about something. At the end of this, you'll see an image with all of our socials.
It's like somewhere in this general vicinity.
At the end of the episode, it just cuts to an image, so it'll be fine, yeah. Just follow us on our socials. Keep up with us there. We, especially on Facebook, we make posts asking for feedback, but you can give us feedback wherever. Instagram, we like to post stories requesting feedback. So
you can fade us on the street if you want
to. Just come up and scream in our face. What are you gonna do about this thing?
Just knock me out.
Yeah, just
give me more brain damage.
But get it on video and then submit it to the dadvoicepod@gmail.com.
Tag us so we can get
so we can tag one of our socials that you'll see at the end of this podcast. But anyways, I think that's a good episode. All right, guys, we'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
Bye.